Good morning, Sandy Ridge Rams who are interested in public speaking. I just have a few tips here, and this is just Miss Rochford's tips. Just a few things because public speaking takes a lot of practice. And if this is something you're interested in, then, we can all use some suggestions. So, the first thing is use hands and feet in a purposeful way. And what that means is to, like, if I'm pointing at something or if I say something is big, I want to use my hands in a way that grabs the audience's attention, but that is not showing that we're nervous. And a lot of times, those examples, which would be non examples of what to do, would be things like fidgeting with your earring or kind of playing with your hair, or you're playing with your shirt or your, ties here, something like that, or hands in your pockets. Those are things that oftentimes people do and don't even realize they're doing them. And so that's why practice is key. Our feet in a purposeful position or purposeful way. You're probably like, what? What's our feet? So normally in public speaking, you are walking back and forth in front of a crowd and you want to grab their attention and, keep walking in a nice, confident way. Make sure you're using eye contact with everybody. This will be a virtual event, and so we won't have a crowd there, and it'll be a video instead. So what you'll want to do is make sure your feet are planted in a confident way so you can talk in one way and not kind of going back and forth or things like that someone might do if we're nervous. So non-example is going back and forth, looking around. We want to make sure we kind of have a confident stance with your head held high and that you're showing a lot of confidence. So that's very important. Next is loud, clear, confident voice. So of course, if you have all these amazing things to say, we want to hear it. So make sure that you are loud and you're using expression and just, using a clear voice that everyone could understand. Oftentimes when we're nervous too, it might have a shaky voice and we're not quite sure. Get rid of the shakes and just make sure that you have a confident voice. Even if you mess up, just laugh it off and say, let me start that again. Or what was that word I just made up? Because all leaders fail forward sometimes. And so it's just a matter of being confident about it. It's cool. Be you is my next tip. And what that means is if you have a nice, like a calm attitude and you're just kind of low key and this is how your personality is and you might talk in a calm voice, that's fine. You want to use that in your speech. If you are more energetic and loud and you grab the audience's attention with your expressions and things like that, do that in your speech. So you want to show your own personality. I've heard some amazing speeches that were super calm, that were just so powerful, and it's the same as a loud, just not loud, but energetic kind of personality. So I've heard both, and they are both really amazing. It's important to be yourself in your speech. Next is to engage the audience. So like I said, using your hands to do those things. That also means to cut out extra words, maybe repetition, which means you're repeating something over and over. Or if you go off on a tangent and you're not even on topic anymore and people are like, what are they talking about? You're going to lose your audience. So just make sure you're engaging your audience by saying interesting, using expression, cutting out the repetition. And usually we have a nice, good introduction by saying, you might say, good morning, this is Katie Rochford from Sandy Ridge Elementary, and I'm going to talk to you about whatever it is. So an introduction, and of course, be confident of who you are. Say your name, get it out there. And a conclusion is a nice way to kind of wrap up what you were talking about. So you want to leave them knowing like, man, that was amazing. And so you want to kind of wrap up at the end. It's kind of like when you're writing stories or when you're writing kinds of things. You want to do an introduction and then wrap it up at the end to kind of remind the reader what they're reading and you're writing. Same thing with an audience. You want to kind of wrap it all up and have a nice conclusion. So, and sometimes we say things like thank you or whatever it is that you want to conclude with. So just some of my tips. Again, look to see if you are interested in the roles that we have for Leadership Day. And then practice. Again, get feedback from family. Practice in front of the mirror. It sounds really silly, but sometimes you'll notice things that you never even knew you did before, or you can watch your own videos. Teachers do that a lot too to help their own teaching. And so watching yourself on video can be really telling about things that you do really well and something you might need to work on as well. So I just suggest a lot of practice and then have fun with it. So think about what you want to talk about and then kind of keep these tips in mind, practice, and send it in. And we'll let you know if you have the role or not. If you don't, fail forward, you can try it for the next one. But thanks and have fun practicing.